What's up, creatives, and welcome to another Tuesday show. We have got a bumper pack show for you today. We're going to be talking about the mandalas I did last week, my ASMR video. We're also going to be having a little look at the live session that I did last week, and we're bringing to you my interview that I had with Michelle Lloyd of United Art Space. So stay tuned for that. So what are we all waiting for? Let's roll the intro. Hey everybody, hope everyone is all good and keeping safe. This is the second week of lockdown. Hope you all had a good week and everyone is doing okay. So I had an absolute blinder of a week last week. Starting off with the session that I did on Monday. It was absolutely brilliant. I was talking about the Zentangle patterns, the benefits that they have on a live feed, on a live session on the United Art Space forum. It was absolutely brilliant. The artists came out of there fully motivated, fully inspired. It was an hour long session. Here is a quick clip of the session that I did.
That I've actually been drawing since January of last year. I've no experiences in drawing whatsoever. I've actually been a hairdresser for the last 25 years now. I've also been a photographer, so a lot of my work was digitally based. So a lot of it was using Photoshop, photo manipulations, things like that. I used to do a lot of that sort of stuff. And then it wasn't until last year that I decided to do something a bit different. I used to draw as a kid, cartoon characters, comic book characters, very pen and ink stuff. It was never sketches or anything like that.
I'm also going to be doing is uploading that full version of that video up on my YouTube channel. And if you want to watch the full version of that video, I've uploaded it now onto my YouTube channel. You can just click that link that's just at the top there, and you can watch the full version of that session. It's absolutely brilliant. It's very inspirational. The feedback that I got from it has been absolutely brilliant. Thank you all to who watched it, and the feedback and giving me the feedback. It's been absolutely brilliant. It's been so good. Since then, I've had quite a few more people subscribe to the channel, which is absolutely brilliant. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you all for subscribing and for watching the videos and for tuning in. It means so much. It's absolutely brilliant. Went from absolutely having no subscribers on there and slowly building it all up. And, thank you to all who have subscribed and supporting me through all of this. So thanks a lot, guys. So last week, Wednesday, I uploaded another 3D and mandala pattern I did. This one here. Love this pattern. It's so cool. The 3D look of it, the way it's been halved, the colours used as well. I used the different colours this time. I used the green on this one, but it came out so cool. Adding that little bit of pencil underneath it there and then just blending it in with your blending stump or with a tissue helps to create that shade underneath, so it gives it that 3D look to it. So that video came out last week. If you didn't watch it, here is a quick clip. And if you didn't watch the full video, just click that link that's just at the top there. So Friday I uploaded my ASMR video, a little bit more different one. So I didn't do the map tracing, I did a Zentangle pattern. It's one of my old videos and I just added a few effects to it for the sound of the paper and the pencil. So if you didn't watch it, here is a quick clip. If you didn't watch the full video, just click the link that's just at the top there. It was a little bit more of a different ASMR video. Normally I do the map tracing videos, which I probably will still be doing. What I want to be doing is creating a few more different types of ASMR videos. I don't want to just stick to doing just the one map tracing. A lot of people tend to find that my Zentangle patterns and my mandala patterns, when they watch them, they find them more relaxing to watch than they do themselves. If that was as that is the case, I thought, well, if people are going to be enjoying me watching me drawing them, then I might as well add them into my ASMR videos as well. Maybe next time I'm going to be adding the pen effects, maybe adding the rain or the thunder as well, which I record when it is rain, but at the moment it's actually looking quite good out there, so I won't be recording any of that this week. Hopefully, I don't want to be saying hopefully it's going to rain this week. I don't want to be putting a downer on it, but if it rains, I'll be getting that effect in as well. But I've got a few already backed up as well, so they're going to be the ASMR videos that I'm going to be coming out with every other Friday. So we've not got a how-to video today, but what we've got is my artist's interview. So I had the pleasure of interviewing Michelle Lloyd, artist, mentor and founder of United Art Space. It was an absolute brilliant interview. It was, from talking to her, the inspirational message that she brought across from where she started from to where she is now, and her ongoing projects and things that she's got coming up were absolutely brilliant. So sit back, everyone, now and check out the artist's interview. Here we are. We have Michelle Lloyd, our artist and mentor and founder of United Art Space. Thank you for joining us this morning. It's absolutely brilliant to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
No, that's no problem at all. No problem at all. So basically, what we like to sort of get down to is sort of your pretty much your journey of how you became from being, because I can see in the work behind you as well. I mean, that's all the work that you sort of create yourself. Is that just a hobby now that you sort of do your work now and everything, or did it start off as a hobby and then lead on to being this great little hub now that you have now? Because I must admit, the hub that you have made, and I wanted to say this last week as well, is absolutely brilliant. It is really good. Now I've been on quite a few Facebook groups I have, and to do with YouTube art and things like that. And in these groups, you've never really felt you're welcome in these groups or anything like that, and you can never get your point across and things like that. And what I found in your group especially is how everyone is connected in there. And one thing that I also learned as well is that you should always surround yourself with people that share the same views as yourself, your same passions, your same goals, and are pretty much heading in the same direction as yourself as well. And that is what I love about the Facebook group and hub that you have created there yourself. I mean, it is absolutely brilliant. The people on there are absolutely wonderful as well. And the feedback, and to be with people that do want to share your journey, they're not just out there for themselves, is absolutely brilliant. I mean, did you expect something like this to happen when you was creating this? Was this a dream of yours? How did it all begin with you?
Oh, thank you. That's a really nice compliment, and I'm really glad that you feel that way by being part of our community, because I'll step right back to, okay, so I made art as a child, and I think I remember saying this in the group, that the first thing I remember painting was Postman Pat's van. And I remember watching Postman Pat and then just getting the paint, and I just couldn't believe that in a few brush strokes I had Postman Pat's van on. It came to life, and I was like, wow. And that's the first time I remember as a child, as a very young child, realizing the power of art, how I created that myself with this paintbrush. And I remember just being like, wow. And then I dabbled with art until secondary school, and I lost my way completely and got in a terrible relationship and didn't make any art for years, and fell into a big depression. My life went off the rails, and it wasn't then until my mid-20s that I was diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia. And when I was reading all the books about ADHD and dyslexia, all the books kept saying people with dyslexia are usually creative. They're creative. And I was like, why am I not creative? I've got dyslexia. Why am I not creative? And then it was in that moment I realized, gosh, I used to love art as a child, and I've not even thought about art. And like with all the fears as well around when I eventually went back to school, because I had loads of time off school, failed all my GCSEs. I remember going back to school thinking I would go back, and in my first year, I painted an eagle, and everyone was like, wow, it's amazing. And in my final year, I was still in that stage because I hadn't been at school, and I tried to recreate the eagle, but obviously I'd missed so much of school that it wasn't where it needed to be, and it failed. And I always took that as, I'm now crap at art and I need to give up. So I never ever pursued it again because of that failure. And my eyes well up when I think about that moment, because I'll never forget at school, I was trying to be that person that got all those nice comments, and I realized how much I'd missed. But so then I decided in my mid-20s to just start looking into art classes because I was struggling with the dyslexia and the ADHD, and it was almost, well, if I'm supposed to be creative and that's the way my brain works, maybe I need to just bring that into my life and see if it helps me with my mental health and just with the way that my brain works. And that's how it all then started, was me doing art classes. Then I ended up getting a job in the creative industries. It was actually at Asda, at Asda's head office. I always chuckle now, and I think I worked at their head office. I don't know why that's funny.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why I'm laughing myself as well. But yeah, you've got to start somewhere.
It was at the Asda's head office, but it was in their design team, and it was it was the best job in the world, because I used to have to spend my days on a Monday. I used to have to sit and read all the magazines and newspapers from the weekend. And just cut out things that were in trends, and everyone else would be running around like trying to hit sales targets, and I'd just be sat there with magazines thinking, I like this. And so I stayed in that job, but I couldn't progress because I didn't have any qualifications in art, and they would.
Was that more digital? Was that working on the computer more, working when you was working for Asda, or was that?
Well, what I was doing, so we had a design team, and they were creating everything by hand.
Sure.
And we would buy designs as well. So I would get art agents in, and we'd look through the art books, and I choose designs. And what my job was to create all the trend boards and come up with the current colours and patterns that we needed to create designs for, and then the designers would do it. So that's how it worked. And because I didn't have any design background, I couldn't design anything. And so I got so far in that job, and then I started to feel like there was a ceiling, and I thought I can't go any further. So I decided to take a career break, and I went off to art school as a mature student. And I always had a chip on my shoulder as well about education, because I'd missed secondary school so much and failed my GCSEs. So it was a kind of personal thing as well that I needed to process. And so then I went and spent 6 years doing my fine art degree and making art, and oh my gosh, that was the best therapy ever.
Wow.
And it was some of the best years of my life. Just
what was the actual attraction to it? Was it just the freedom of, was it the painting side to it, the freedom of being able to create what you wanted to create? Did you feel like a sense of freedom at last, that this is the passion, this is where I want to be heading?
Yeah, it was a mixture of, I think, all the years of pain and trauma all came out all of a sudden through art. And
wow.
But also it was just learning about materials. Like, I mean, it's changed so much since I did my degree. There's so many more materials now. But back then it was just being exposed to all these different techniques and other artists, and all the different things you can do with art materials blew my mind. And just learning how to use those materials to process how I was feeling. It was just a massive, big, because I did art classes before, but I was like copying other people, whereas this was really internal.
Yes,
That was the difference. And so I felt like I just explored. And then at the end of my degree, I, like everyone else who graduates, goes, right, what am I going to do now? And just not employable. And I had so many people say, oh, did you regret doing your degree? But I never did. But it was a struggle. And I applied for jobs and couldn't get a job doing anything. And then I remember sitting in a doctor's surgery, and I was reading a magazine, and the magazine was an article about women who hadn't been able to get jobs and ended up setting up their own career. And that was the first time that I ever considered that. Well, I didn't consider it at that point. It was like a seed was planted.
Yes,
in that I remember that magazine article like it was yesterday, so it must have had a big impression on me. And I didn't really realise it at the time. I was just flipping through. And then what happened, and I talk about this a lot in my community, is when you buy a red car, you see the red car everywhere.
I remember you just,
Yeah, and I must have read that article, because then what I started to see was set up your own business. Startup, set up your own business, art as business. And I started to see it everywhere. And it must have always been there, but I was more tuned in to
I totally.
opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah.
So So then I started to see all the support that was available for grants. I never put art and business together though. So I used to say, well, I'm an artist, it's not a business.
See,
Even though
that is the funny thing. That is what everyone always thinks. They go, well, it's not a business. How can you make it into a business? So it's totally true what you're saying there as well, which is absolutely.
yeah.
And the thing is, well, that when you went to your art classes and everything, was you had no intentions of turning it into a business at the time at all, or anything like that. It was just a therapeutic way of
Yeah.
just releasing yourself and everything at the time as well, which is absolutely great. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. No, there was no way I was thinking about making money from it. In fact, I felt the opposite. I felt like it was just personal, and
Sure.
how would you make any money from it? It just wasn't
Yeah.
even an option to me at all. And in fact, even at art school, there was a business event to learn how to start your own business. I was like, well, I'm an artist. Why would I go to that? That's how I just couldn't see it, even though I had studied business as well.
Sure.
After I left school, and I did a bit of business for a while because when I was lost, I didn't know what direction I was going in. So I'd even studied business. I still didn't put the two together. And then when I started to look into setting up my own business, I was like, well, what could it be? Still didn't consider it as being an artist. And then what I started to sit and think to myself was, when I lived in Leeds, I was part of an art studio called E Street Arts, and they formed community. And I must say, throughout my whole life, I've always said, I just want to help people. And even when I did my art degree, although I loved making art, I did feel this sense of, but I want to help others with it.
Sure.
I never quite felt fulfilled. So it was almost like I was still searching. I hadn't found my thing. So that's when I started to think, well, community, I like bringing people together, and I'm sociable. And I love that art studio. So I'll try and find an art studio. And I couldn't find one. So then I thought, well, I'll create my own. And that's where I first took those steps to become a business, was setting up an art studio. And then, yeah, it kind of has led now to becoming an online business where I help artists make art they love and turn it into a living.
I mean, it's absolutely amazing what you've created as well. I mean, obviously you're always adding more and more content to your website it was pretty much every week that you've always got, because you're always saying that you've got another video coming up, and so your brain must be going full pelt all the time, always thinking up new. I mean, where do you get your inspiration from? Where do you have the ideas? Do you like see something that you like on the TV and think, oh yeah, maybe I could turn that into a class? Or do you see something on YouTube or anything like that? What's your where do you get the ideas and the inspiration from?
Yeah, you're right. My brain is like a high frequency radio. It's quite intense. And I literally get inspiration from everywhere. So the biggest places are, like you say, TV. So I was watching a documentary with Chris Martin. That inspired me. It gave me so many ideas.
Steve Martin.
Not Steve Martin, no. I'm always getting names and quotes muddled up. It's hilarious. So that music as well, I listen to the lyrics of music a lot, and that gives me ideas for the way we should be living our lives, and just the process of, just so much. So music, TV, and also because I have a big community, one thing I do is I scour all the time what people are saying, the questions people ask. I copy and paste questions, I copy and paste how people are feeling. And I absorb it all and just take it in and put myself in the shoes of other members.
Excuse me, just 1 second. I'm just going to let my cat out. 1 second, 1 second.
No problem.
Come on. Sorry about that.
No problem.
It's not a child for me in the background. It was my cat waiting to be let out.
There's always something.
Sorry, yeah, carry on. Yeah, the documentaries and everything. It's so important to see these sort of things for inspiration. It is. I mean, I get a lot of mine from movies, TV, other people's artwork as well, and obviously watching YouTube as well. So it's great that you still keep to that influence still keeping your mind still active in watching and always learning, because I think that's quite an important part is what is that you've always got to keep on learning in whatever you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I'm always learning, and I just don't think you ever get to a point where you think, oh yeah, I know that now. There's always so much to learn. Even as an artist, Sharon, who I work with closely, you know, she's been an artist for 25 years, and she just said there's still always so much more to learn. And she specializes in ceramics. She just said, I just can't believe how much now she's still delving into glazing. It's just a whole world of learning. So
that's absolutely great. So what is the future of United Art Space? Do you have like a plan? Because I'm in the sessions, I already hear you talking about January and February and things. So you must already have 6 months already planned ahead, is it? And the big future, is there a big plan that you would like in the next sort of 2-3 years or anything like that? Is there a end goal to all of this?
Yeah, there is. I wouldn't say there's an end goal, but there's a big vision for sure. And for me, there's some things inside the membership that I still want to expand and improve. So I'm always continuously adding things like directories coming so people can connect locally with each other. So there's lots of things that I'm doing to improve the hub. But in terms of United Art Space, one thing that I started doing in the beginning was art challenges and bringing people together to make, and I really missed that part. So next year I'll be doing a lot more of that, and I really want to create our own charity and do a lot more to give back as well. That's really important to me, and especially as I entered art through my own mental health problems and challenges, I really want to give back and help anyone who was feeling like I did when I found out all the things that were wrong with me. And so and I feel that there'll be some well, I'm writing a book as well, so that will be
what type of book are you currently writing? Is it apart from yourself, is it to do with the business, is it
it
your
will
journey?
be the seven keys. So basically inside the hub everyone gets access to the 7 keys course, and that goes really in depth in how to use and apply the 7 keys, but I want to turn it into a book which gives everyone an overview of what the 7 keys are, just to make it available to as many people as possible, because I just see the power in how it's changed lives, and I just feel like that's what I want to do. I want to get it into hands of people in case it can just make a difference worldwide on a bigger scale. So I don't know when that'll be released because, well, I have dyslexia, so it's going to probably take me a long time to write. That's definitely my big vision.
Do you manage everything yourself? I mean, you have a team, obviously, because one of the things that I've also learned as well is that in progressing yourself, you need to have a good, strong team behind you as well. It's quite hard to do it on your own, it is. But I mean, obviously, at times when you do start off, it is on your own. How did you find your people to help you in with your United Art Space hub and things like that? Was it difficult to find?
Oh, it's such a good question, because I've actually done everything by myself until 3 months ago. So I didn't have a team at all until 3 months ago. I did everything: the marketing, the content creation, uploading the lessons, everything. I did everything.
Wow.
I managed the communities. And then in July, we grew significantly, and also I just realized in that point, like you say, that I can't do it all by myself. And actually it was a point of, if I don't take on a team now, then I won't be able to grow it, and I won't be able to charity, and I won't be able to write a book because I'm like doing everything. So what I then started to do was identify people within the community that were kind of already doing things and showing up. And I reached out to a couple of people and asked if they would like to do that on a more official basis, and they said yes.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, because they've been with me from the very beginning, the people that I've taken on, and they know the 7 keys inside out and what I teach, and they understand my values and the mission. And so they've been incredible support, and I just would not be able to cope without them now. And then I have a social media manager as well. So her name's Katie, and she helps me with all my social media now, because we're now branching out onto other platforms, and I would not be able to do that if it wasn't for her help. So I've got the podcast coming out in a couple of weeks, so she's helping with that. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to grow without that team.
But you've got a lot of things going on there now. You have, you know, your podcast and your book as well, and more classes and everything. So it's absolutely brilliant that, you know, you're progressing with it and it's going so well for you. I mean, did you imagine it would be as big as what it is becoming at the moment? Did you just think, oh, just be people in my classes, you know?
It's funny because when I first like go back a few years, I didn't believe anything was possible, and I had a real fixed mindset. I just thought, oh, all these people that go, yeah, you can do it if you think it, and all this, and I just used to think that's just such a load of rubbish. And I always used to tell myself, because I have dyslexia and ADHD, I won't be able to earn over a certain amount of money. I convinced myself of that, and I also convinced myself that I wouldn't be able to work with other people because of how I am, and just kept telling myself all these stories for why I wouldn't be able to make it happen. So I had to do a lot of mindset work, and I did a lot of reprogramming my mind, and I visualized and I meditated and poured myself into believing that anything is possible. And that's one of the biggest things that's got me to where I am today, is actually the belief that I could make it happen. And then when I started to dream about the amount of people and the like the work and how it would look and the lessons inside, you know, it was massive, it was overwhelming, and I thought, I have no idea how I could make that happen. But there was a belief inside of me that I thought, yeah, I believe I can do it. So at the beginning, no, I didn't believe it, and then as soon as I started to believe it, that's when things started to actually happen. So I think without that belief, it would never have happened.
I mean, it's one of the things that you teach as well, is to believe in yourself, project those images, you know, have your mood boards as well, which is so important as well, to have those mood boards in front of you, the things that you want to achieve, and, you know, you can take them off, tick them off as you go along as well, because you yourself had your own mood board as well, didn't you, at one point, and used to look at that and visualize all the things you want to go away on holiday and, you know, take your family away and things like that, which is such an important part as well, to have that belief in yourself. So it's very true you say that.
Yeah, and it's hard when you're the opposite. When I first started out, I was in debt. I had a lot of debt. I didn't have much income. I was struggling. I couldn't just go and take my kids to buy them clothes. I didn't have any money. And so when you are in that stage, it is really hard to imagine life different, you know, but you've got to try and dig deep and know that it's possible. And I can't actually believe now that I'm living the life that I'm living. You know, I'm still, it's not like I'm a millionaire or anything, but I can go and take my kids to go and buy them shoes, and I don't have to worry about getting close to being overdrawn again. And that feeling is just great. And I booked a holiday recently and I could pay for it myself, and that feeling was just, it's just priceless. And I just think, you know, it isn't always about money either, but being able to do that is such a relief in life. And it is so much more about how I feel as well, and having the freedom to work when I want to work and work on the things that I want to work on. I mean, that is just something that I've always dreamed of, and I just didn't believe it was possible, and it is.
There you go. An absolute inspirational story. It's really good, from starting off on, you know, from being at school to where you are now, and, you know, further along, all the other things that you've got planned ahead, your podcasts and things like that, you know, it's absolutely brilliant. It's very inspirational as well. So good luck. Thank you for being with us today, Michelle. It's been absolutely, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you're, as I've heard, you're absolutely busy lady there. So I'm going to say thank you very much for joining us today and sharing your amazing story. It's been absolutely inspirational. It's so good to have had you on here as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me, Romeo. Good luck with everything. Thanks.
No problem at all. Thanks a lot. Cheers, darling. Thanks. Bye-bye. See you.
What an inspirational story. Thank you very much to Michelle Lloyd for taking the time to do that interview with me. It was absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much. So that's the end of the show, folks. Thank you all again for watching and for subscribing. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Click the bell and turn on notifications so you know when I upload a new video. So I upload a new video every week, being a art therapy video or a show video, which I've done, which is what you're watching today. Thanks a lot, everybody. Everyone stay safe. Have a good week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Peace out.